Hi everyone, welcome back. Um, so doing all this on tripod cam is hard because it's zoom in so far. So I kind of skipped forward and assembled all of the pulleys. So we can just go over um, what are my findings and um, any tips that I can give during assembly. I guess first let's go through um, what you should buy from AliExpress. This is basically it. Um, the list, thanks to Vincent from the Seckit forum. What you should buy is 6 of the 40 millimeter, 3 of the 35 millimeter, 2 of the 20 millimeter, and 2 of 15 millimeter shoulder bolts of M5. I bought it from 2 different vendors. Um, they both came in at the same time, of course. I kind of mixed and matched. There was a difference between the two vendors. The threaded portion from one was longer than the other, and it looks like I used all the short ones because I didn't want to have any extra threads sticking out. My God, nothing ever works. All right, let's look at this. Pulley sets. We can go through this really quick. One thing I found out is you should use the washers between the pulley and the bracket and use the one they provided. If you go to McMaster and you purchase the cheapest washers, they actually are outside diameters too small and they don't work. The pulley actually gets bound by it. So it took me last video 30 minutes to figure that out. Fantastic. For lubrication, I used the just standard 3-in-1 oil, just a couple of drops on each side. These are all the pulley sets. They're in the manual, and I'll just quickly show you what I have. Okay, 3-in-1 oil I used, just a standard cheapo. These are all the shoulder bolts that I got. Like I said, I got 2. 2 sets, so I have extras now. And I'll just show you every single pulley. This is the first one that's assembled. Let me zoom out a little. There we go. It spins pretty freely. Not super free, but there's really no binding to it. So I put smaller washer on this side, the washer that is in the kit from Seckit on both sides of the pulley, and then I used the nylon locking nut on it. I bought enough of these nuts to basically do the entire build with them. Let's see, what else can I mention? That's about it. So you're gonna have to figure out, normally these would be, I think, M5s or M4s, so those, right, so you're not using a smaller nut than what's included in the kit. So it's something you have to think about and make sure you have enough of before you proceed. I'll recommend, if you're gonna go the shoulder bolt route, is to buy the nylon locking nuts, and also buy M4 and M5 washers from the same vendor. That way you know you have enough and you don't need to stop in the middle of it. And then we have these two. So with this one, no washer on this side, 1 provided washer on this side, 2 provided washers in between the 2 pulleys, 1 washer between the right pulley and the bracket, and then I have a small M4 washer and of course locking nut. This one's basically a mirror copy of it. Then you assemble these three. There's no washers on these because these are going to be self-centering, so it's going to be somewhere in the middle. It spins pretty freely. I did put a washer on here, and of course locking nut. Same for these two. They're just mirror images of each other. Yeah, basically the same. No washers around the pulley, but there is a small washer where the locking nut is, and just a locking nut. These I'm still not really sure about. There's a little bind on it, but they turn okay. So I'm gonna have to try to figure this out if I want to go with some kind of different setup. Another concern is the height, so I'm gonna check that out after I put on the stepper motor during the installation to see if I need to use a different shoulder. But this is M15, which is 1 millimeter more than what Vincent recommended. I couldn't find M15s available on AliExpress. So for this one, is the bottom washer is from the Seckit that's provided, and the top one is the smaller washer, just a standard tiny M4 washer, and then of course the nylon locking nut. And this is just a mirror image, right? These probably were the best out of us for assembly because there's no real tightening, right? So the length of the shoulder bolt is perfect for this setup. You put 2 washers. It's hard to see. You put 2 washers on the pulley facing the bracket. You don't put any washers that are on the tube spacer side. And then on the top is just a washer and a nylon locking nut. And these were, it's just simply assembled. It's assembled exactly as per the manual or assembly instructions. Well, that is all I have for today. The next video will probably be a week or two. Maybe I'll make one sooner. So I'm waiting for a new car to be built. It's an SUV. So I'm gonna wait till I get that so I can bring the frame over to my work to do all the correct alignment. To do the alignment and to tighten the frame up. After that's done, actually I think even before that's done, I might make a video of me redesigning the back panel that holds all the electronics. Mainly because I want to use the derail, and I'm adding a lot more components as you saw from my first video. And I just want to make sure all the mounting and all the wiring is neat, or as neat as I can possibly make it. So yeah, so I will, if you have any questions or anything, just hit me up, DM, or comment to the video. But so far this is it. Okay, bye.